Welcome to NewsOK.com. I am Jacob Unruh here with an Oklahoma City Dodgers update, joined by the voice of the Dodgers via Skype, Alex Friedman, who is currently hanging out somewhere in Reno, Nevada, waiting tonight's game with the Reno Aces. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
West Coast road trip. They're playing well. They're giving up runs like everyone does on the West Coast. What are your thoughts on this road trip at this point?
Well, they have a chance for a winning road trip with a win tonight. You know, to go 3-3 so far. That's the goal, is to play 500 ball on the road, especially when you're coming to a couple places that you're not used to playing. Especially here in Reno, where, like you mentioned, the runs are plentiful. It really is among the hitter-friendliest parks in all of minor league baseball, maybe even professional baseball. I feel it is the most hitter-friendly one in the PCL. You do have the others with the reputation of Colorado Springs and Las Vegas and Albuquerque. I just feel like this one, for whatever reason, more so than the others, it has bigger dimensions than the others. Even though it might not be as high of elevation, does have some elevation, and the air tends to be very dry and thin. So, you know, obviously the pitching hasn't been great. I wouldn't say it's been, horrible either. Kind of as expected. You just know you're going to go into the series giving up runs. It's just limiting that big inning, and unfortunately that was not the case last night.
Yeah, last night you mentioned that 6-5 loss, back and forth late, but Brock Stewart continued his pace lately of pitching really well until the long ball bit him, but I think some of that was Reno air. What did you see from Brock last night?
Yeah, great command, as opposed to his last start, which was very uncharacteristic. He started the first game of this road trip in Tacoma through 4 scoreless innings, but through 90 pitches. He walked 4 guys. Last night didn't walk anybody over 6 2/3 innings. So the command was back to what we're normally used to seeing. Really did a good job of, playing off his changeup, I felt, that kind of made that fastball seem a bit harder than it is. So he did a good job of that. Really didn't give up much solid contact all night until he ran into trouble in the 7th inning with the Dodgers leading 3-0. And he had retired 19 of 21 batters, which, especially at that ballpark, is incredible. But he gave up 3 home runs within the span of 4 batters, one of which would have been a home run anywhere, 2 of which I don't think they would have gotten out, especially in Oklahoma City. Might have been extra base hits, but probably not home runs. But just a tough way to end an otherwise great outing for Stewart, and one of those outings where, the final line is not going to tell the story of how well he pitched. I guess the small victories, he didn't get a loss. The Dodgers offense picked him up, and it gets a no decision. But to pitch 6 2/3 effective innings, even though he give up 4 runs in 6 2/3 at this ballpark, that's still pretty good.
You almost want to qualify that as a quality start. I know you can't, but
right.
That's what it feels like. Another guy who's been playing well, Donovan Solano, having a really good year at the plate. What has really stood out to you so far this summer from him?
Just hits, and hits. I mean, there's really been no slump all year. He came off the DL after missing about 2 months with a hamstring injury shortly after the All-Star break, and I kind of thought, okay, it's probably going to take him a few games to get it going again, and that has not been the case at all, hitting in the high 380s since he's been off the DL. He's been in the middle of the lineup most of the year. He's not your typical middle-of-the-order hitter, but, Bill Haselman is a guy, as I've learned these last few years, he'll sacrifice the extra base hits for guys in the middle of the order and the home runs that you typically associate with the 3, 4, 5 hitters for guys who are just going to put the ball in play when there are guys on base. And Solano just has such a nice, easy swing that, even though he did miss a fair amount of time, he's able to replicate it pretty easy. And even though he didn't get those reps, for quite some time, he's stepped right back in. Since he's returned, the team is 12-4 when he's in the starting lineup and 1-5 when he's not. So I think that's pretty telling.
Switching gears, you guys return to Oklahoma City on Thursday. Just a quick 4-game homestand. But you've got a couple promotions, $2 Thursday, and then you've got Pack the Pink Friday. Talk about that event and what all is involved in that.
Yeah, one of my favorite nights of the year, Pack the Park Pink Night, presented by MidFirst Bank, teaming up with the Susan G. Komen Foundation for help for breast cancer awareness and to raise funds for Susan G. Komen Foundation as well. So the players will be wearing special pink jerseys They're very similar to the blue home alternates, so they're going to be kind of pink tops with white stripes and OKC and big white letters on the front. And those jerseys will be auctioned off during the game with, again, proceeds benefiting the Susan G. Komen Foundation. A lot of groups of breast cancer survivors will be out. I know we have a group singing the national anthem made up of breast cancer survivors. We encourage, obviously, everyone to wear pink that night. And there will be fireworks after the game as well. So one of my favorite nights of the year, like I said, and it should be great. Dodgers taking on Memphis for 4 games. Could be a potential playoff preview. Memphis has had so many changes lately. It's guys getting called up to St. Louis, or the Cardinals made quite a few trades around the deadline. So it's going to be a different team. These two teams played each other a lot in May. They played each other 3 series in May, with Memphis winning 7-5. But I think the Memphis roster was a lot better back then. So we'll see what happens this time around.
Looking forward. Then you hit the road briefly, but then you're back next weekend. And a big giveaway night, Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Everyone loves bobbleheads. I love bobbleheads. I think you probably love bobbleheads. What else is going on in that homestand?
It's a 12-game homestand, the final 12 games of the home games of the regular season for the Dodgers, which not only for fans a chance to their last guaranteed time to come out and see the team, but are going to be 12 pivotal games for this division race when you end the season having to play 9 straight on the road. And those last 4 home games are going to be against Colorado Springs, which probably is going to be literally the biggest series of the year when it comes down to it, when they play each other in late August. So we've got, as you mentioned, the Cody Bellinger bobblehead night. We've got our Hometown Heroes Military Celebration night on August the 17th as well. That's another fireworks night. And then our regular weekly promotions, $2 Thursdays, Chaparral Energy Family Sundays. And you can get all the details at our website at okcdodgers.com.
All right, Alex. Well, you got 1 game left tonight on the West Coast, then you return home. Thanks for joining us again from your hotel there in Reno, and we'll talk when you get back.
All right. Thanks, Jacob.
All right. Stick with newsok.com. You get the best Dodgers coverage in the state.